Hey, what's up? It's Nick here. Hope you're doing great. So for this video, I'll show you a complete process how you can set up a make.com automation that will scrape Google Map businesses, get their email addresses, then we'll use AI to qualify those leads, and we'll send the cold emails to the right people, all on automation. So let's begin. So this is my make account, and I have divided this automation in 4 steps. So first one is run the actor, make a request to scrape the data, and then the second step, we get the data into the Google Sheet. And in the third step, we qualify that data and verify the leads. And the fourth step, we just send the emails. So I'm using Apify to scrape this data. Now, if you don't know what Apify is a scraping platform where you can scrape basically anything. Like they have like pre-written script here. So you can scrape like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So in our case, we'll be using the Google Map extractor. So you just need to go to the store and you need to click on this one. So this is not free. It costs like $9 per 1000 results, but we'll be using this. So first thing first, you need to set up this first automation, and you need to go to, wait, let this open. Yeah. So first step, you need to go to your make.com account and create a scenario, and then you need to add Apify, run an actor. Now, if you are doing this first time, it will ask you to make a connection. So you have to make a connection. For that, you need an API key. So you need to go to your account, and then you need to go into settings, and then in the API integrations, you'll have your API keys here. If it's not showing any, you can just create a new one by clicking here and putting your details. Now, once you do that, you'll get your API key. You need to come here in make.com and create a connection by putting your API key. Now, once you do that, you need to come back here and make sure you run this automation once, like maybe like scrape like 4 or 5, but do this once so that it comes in the actor section here, like I have. Because if you haven't run it, it will be showing you in only the store section. So you have to run it once. So you just need to click on that and put these details. For like the search term I'm using here, it's gem, and for the location I'm using Manhattan, New York. For the number of faces to extract, I'm using 10. Now if you want more filters, you can do that. I'm using fitness center here, and just this is enough, I guess, for the run. Now you need to copy the JSON here because we'll be using that in future. So you need to run this. Once you do that, it will come up here in the actor section. And once you set up this Apify module here, you can just select that actor from here in case I have to. So you just need to select that. And then in the input JSON, you need to just paste that code we just copied from here, from the JSON section. Now I have set variables here so that I don't have to just go to the Apify again and again and do this. So let me show you quick. So it's the search keyword, which is gem, location, which is Manhattan, max result per search, which is 5, and category, the fitness center. And I have just replaced those variable in the JSON, as you can see here. So I'll just save it now, and so what will happen every time we run this actor will get the request to scrape the data as per the number of leads, as per the number of searches we give it, and it will send us a dataset ID, a default dataset ID. So now let's go to number 2. So first thing first, we need to get that data from Apify. So for that, what we need to do, every time this actor is finished running, we need to get the data from there. Yeah, so this is how the automation looks. And so first you need to go there and choose Apify, watch an actor run. Then you need to select the actor, right? You need to select the actor running in the first one, like the first scenario. Now in my case, it's already there. In your case, you have to add it. So you just need to click on the add, and then you need to choose the actors from here. Yeah, so you need to choose the actors from here. In my case, it's showing 2. So you need to choose the Google Map actor from here and then just save it. Once you do that, just make sure to add like a 10 seconds delay. Why? Because you don't want to hit him up as soon as it's finished running. Then you need to put another module that says get dataset items from Apify. Then for the default dataset ID, you just need to put like default dataset ID for the dataset ID that you will get from the Apify. So you can just search it here and you'll get it. For the limit, I'm just putting 1500 here, and you need to use an aggregator. So in the aggregator, I have shows all the options, and then just click OK, save. Then in my scenario, every time I scrape a data, I prefer that I have like a new Google Sheet where I put the data. I'm using Google Sheet. You can also use like an Airtable. It's all on you, but I just find it like more easy. So in this thing, you need to create like a new module which says Google Sheet, create a spreadsheet. Then you need to name this. So in my case, I'm just using like, I want to name this sheet as today's date. So I have this a little formula here which says scrape leads and then format the date, now time into date, month and the year. So it will automatically give me the output of the scrape leads and today's date. Then save. Now once you do that, every time this actor runs, it will give you a spreadsheet ID and the file name. Then you need to add the headers. So I'll just put the default spreadsheet ID we'll get from here. Then the sheet name we'll get from here, you can just map it out. Now for the values, I'm putting location, category, business name, website, email, phone, ratings, business address, qualified or not, verified or not, emails and status, and that's it. So once that thing happened, I'm using iterator. And the array I have used is the one I got from the aggregator. Once I do that, you need to add another module that says Google Sheet add a row, and then you need to add those details we get from iterator. So I have mapped out all these details like city, all the details we get from the scraping of that Google Map businesses, So as you can see here, I've put all the details like city, category name, title, domain, email that we'll get. Yeah, so here's the email we'll get, as you can see here. So I have like map it out here. And you need to like put all the details here. Once you do that, you need to add a module called numeric aggregator, and you need to count every single time a new row is updated. So every time a new row is added, this module will count those numbers. Now I have added a filter here which says result from the numeric aggregator. This result should be equal to the total number of bundles we get from this iterator. Now I have done this because if I don't do that, every time a new row is added, all these modules will get triggered, and it's just like a waste of operations. So that's why I have added this here. So it will only let this thing pass when both of these conditions are met. All the data has been successfully added in the rows. Added in the Google Sheets. And then I have this Google Drive move the file module, which will move our file to a specified location. In my case, it's like outreach data folder in Google Drive. And then we make an HTTPS request. Now, for this HTTPS request, the URL here is a webhook URL, which is from the third scenario here. So that's the webhook. Then in the header, I have content type, application JSON. In the body tab, I have row, JSON application. And then in the request body, I have sent the spreadsheet name, spreadsheet ID, sheet ID, and total numbers of bundle we get from the iterator. So this is how we get the leads in the Google Sheet. And then we send a request to our webhook here to go on the second step. Now in the second step, what we do is we qualify those leads, we qualify those businesses and find out which one is actually correct one, which is actually legit, and which one is fake. Because on the Google Maps, you get a lot of fake ones. So once this webhook gets triggered, it will give us all this detail we sent from the HTTPS request. So we just put the spreadsheet ID here, sheet name here, and we're not using any filters. So we'll just search for all these rows we have in the sheet. Now there's a small filter here which says email is equal to empty string, which means all the rows that does not have an email, it will just block it here. Then we have a table aggregator. So what a table aggregator does is just puts all the data in one by one. So I have data 1, then I have a separator which is this pipe symbol, and then data 2 makes like a table. Yeah, so now we put that data into the chat GPT, and we have a prompt here, which basically what it does, it reads the data, and if it tells us that, okay, this is a legit email address or not, because you don't want to waste through credit to verify email that just looks fake. So you just read through the email and tell us if this email address is fake or not, or it is something genuine, because you get a lot of fake emails on Google Maps. So this is what it does. And then we put that data into an iterator. Now in the iterator, we have used results as a valid email, because we'll get the data into the JSON format, and then we'll use this array aggregator because we are putting a list into the chat GPT, so it will give us a list. It's not going one by one. So when we'll get the list, and we'll also get a row number with each of the email address. So then we have a sleep module here, which is 5 seconds. And then we have this never bounce module here, which will verify email addresses. If you don't know what is never bounce, it's like a email verification software where you can just use their API function and integrate that in make.com. So here we are putting the email we got from the iterator, because when you use chat GPT, you will get results like this, a row number and an email address. Now it gets in a bunch, it gets in a big table, but because we are using iterator, it's showing us one by one. So then we put our email address here and we click on save. Now If it's a valid thing, it will let it pass only if it's a valid thing. So let's suppose it's valid, then what happened? It will update a row. So we already have the row number we got from the previous module, the iterator. So we just put the row number here. We have the sheet ID from the webhook, and we'll just map that data into the J column, and we'll just put true that column which says qualified or not. So we put true there, and then email verified or not column, we just put like the result which will be valid. Now, in case if it's not valid, what will happen? The scenario will break here, and it will go back to the iterator, and it will put like the second email address, which and then it will wait for 5 seconds, then it will verify. That's why we have this thing here, so that all the emails just don't go non-stop. There's like a 5 second wait in that. So this is how it works, and then we have a numeric aggregator here. So every time a new row is added, it will count this. It will count like all the rows that has been added. Now what we need to do is, so now what happens is like the results we get from the numeric aggregator should be equal to the total numbers of the iterator here. Now the best thing about this is when we give all this data to the chat GPT, we ask it to remove all the fake email addresses. So all the response you will get will be the valid email addresses. So let's suppose you get like 10 data sets here, which is like the valid email addresses. So you'll have like 10 bundles here. So that's why we have this filter, which will make sure like 10 bundles, and this result should be equal, only then let it go. If you don't do that, this thing will just get triggered all the 10 times. That's why. Then we'll just search the rows again. Now we are using this just to count all the rows we have got, and then we'll make another HTTPS request, and in the end we just use like sheet name we got from the previous webhook, so we'll just make this request to another automation, another scenario we have. So we have the spreadsheet ID here, sheet ID, this is an email obtained, total number of bundles. The reason I'm putting total number of bundles here, because I'm not counting the verified email, I'm just counting the rows we got here. I'm just counting the rows we got from here, because in the end we'll be just creating a kind of like a report where we'll be writing down how many emails we scraped, how many emails we got verified, and all that stuff. So I'll just click on the save here and save. Now the next step, which is to send emails. Okay, so in the last step we'll be sending the emails. This is how the automation works. So we have the webhook here. So we sent the HTTPS request in the last module. So this is the webhook, it will receive all the data. Then we have a search row module here, which will search for all the rows we got. This is the spreadsheet ID we got from the webhook, sheet name we got from the webhook. Then we'll use a filter to search these rows that column I should be true. Now column I is actually verified or not column, and column J is the one we have the verified or not one, in which we write like we get so in this column we get the results from the never bounce, which says valid or not. So this is the one, and we use these two conditions to find all those rows that are like qualified and verified. Then we have set multiple variables here. So the reason we have used this is because we need to create a condition to send email. Now let me explain you. So this says condition to send mail 1. Okay, wait. The reason we are using this is because we'll be using multiple emails, which means we're not sending like one email, we are sending variations. For example, we are using 2 domains here to send emails. You can't send a high number of emails from one domain, you'll get blocked. Now we're using 2 email templates here, 1 and 2, because you don't want to send the same one. You want variations. So we have 2 bodies here, 2 subjects, 2 email. Now the first condition says if ratings, because we scrape the data, we have all the ratings of the businesses. If rating is greater or equal to 3, give us true or false. So this is condition 1. Now second condition to send email to is if ratings is less than 3, give true or false. So it will give us a true or a false for both of these actions. Now in the third variable we have the subject mail 1. This is our subject. I'm just using like example email where I'm just sending emails where we provide SEO services. I don't, it's just like an example, And in the variable 2 we have the subject mail 2. And then we have body 1. All these emails are in HTML format. I've tried the text one, it doesn't work for me good. So I use like the HTML one so that the formatting is just perfect. Then we have the body mail 2 here. And we have domain 1, which is info nextpath services. It's just like a temp mail I have. And then we have domain 2, which is contact nextpathservices.com. Now, every time this scenario gets triggered, as you saw these 2 conditions either one of them will get true or false. Like one will get true, one will get false. But it will happen. Like there never will be a scenario when both of them are empty or true or both of them are false. Alright, so once we set the variables, we have a filter set up here which says condition to send email 1 should be true or condition to send mail 2 should be true. So if condition 1 comes true, we can let it go. If the second one comes true, we can move ahead. If it comes false, the scenario stops here. Then we have this module called Mailgun. I use Mailgun to send emails because I just personally like it. The API feature, it's just great, Anyways, so let's come here. In the domain section, we can actually map out these details. So I have created a condition here, and we can decide if we want to send from the domain 1 or domain 2. Now, before you actually create this condition, make sure you have a Mailgun account and you add your, so if you don't add the domains there and you just put some email address here that's not added, it will not work. So in my condition, if the condition to send email 1 comes true, then it will use the domain 1. As from here, you can see the domain 1, which is this, so it will take this value. Now, if the condition to send mail 2 comes true, then it will use the second one. If both of them is not true, then it's null, it won't work. It will just stop here. Now for the email address, we'll just take it from the Google Sheet, this email. I'm using mine for testing purpose. Then from, I'm just using a1marketing.com, temp name. For the subject, it's the same condition. If condition to send mail 1 equals true, then use the subject 1. Then if the condition to send mail 2 comes true, then use subject 2. If both of them comes false, then it's a null, stop the scenario, no action. Now for the body format, then we have this condition again here. If condition to send mail equals true, body 1, the condition to send mail 2, it's come true, body 2. Just like above one, it's the same. Then for the tags, I'm using the spreadsheet name because we run this automation every single day, so it will be easy to track. Enable DKIM, yes. Enable tracking, click tracking, enable open tracking, and you can just save it. It's on you. So then we have a error handler module here. So for some reason, if it doesn't work, what it will do, it will just wait for 30 seconds and it will retry again with the same data. So that will happen 2 times. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it will just retry, because we have 2 here. You can put 3, 4, it's all on you. Then we have a numeric aggregator here, which will count every time this thing gets successful. Every time we send an email, it will count here. So from that, we'll know that, okay, how many emails we have sent. Then we have a filter here, which makes sure that total numbers of bundle we get from the search rows, because all those data will be verified and qualified. We will be sending all them emails, right? So the total numbers of bundle should be equal to this result. Only then it will move forward. If we don't do that, this scenario will get triggered every single time an email is sent, and it's just a waste of operation. Then we create a record. So you need to choose like the base, choose the table. So as I said, like we were just collecting all those small data. In the last, we put it here, the file name, email scraped, email verified. We just cached it from here, email verified and qualified, and the total number of emails sent, which is results from this module, and the timestamp is equal to now, and we just save it. Then the next 2 things are like optional. If you want to do an email, you can send an email to the admin like, hey, the automation has been successful and this many emails we have sent. Or you can send a Slack notification from here. That's also easy, but here's like a run, like add a timestamp, but it's on you if you want to do it or not. That's optional. So yeah, this is how it works, and it's all on automation, right? We don't need to do anything. You just need to put the details. One, how many details you want to scrape, and it will all work on automation. Now, one more thing that you can add in this is actually an automated follow-ups. So I haven't added here. Like I have another automation which scrapes like LinkedIn scraper, and it sends like a personalized emails with the help of AI. So I have used that one here. So if you want to add this thing to this Google Maps scraper, you can just watch this video. I'll be making it, and you can just use the same idea here. So yeah, this is how it works, and the best thing about this is the operational cost is very low. You just have to spend like a couple of dollars and you can reach like hundreds of people. And the best thing is it's all automated, so you don't need to sit there and spend all that time. And yeah, so I hope this video was useful, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.